comedian Brandon for a long, long time. And he's been fighting a battle I hope none of us in this room ever have to fight. But he's been battling brain cancer for the last couple of years now, and he's here for you tonight. Brandon Franson. No strings attached.
Thank you very much. Norm Shaw, everyone.
Hey! Woo!
Now we're here to do comedy. First off, there's nothing funny about cancer, but when it happens to a comedian, it has its moments, okay? Like, my oncologist asked me how I felt about my brain tumor, and I said, I hated it at first, but lately it's been growing on me, you know? I was diagnosed with stage 2 astrocytoma, which is a brain tumor and not a shitty Pokemon. Your astrocytoma is metastasized to glioblastoma. You don't want it to evolve. Not a Pokemon crowd, all right. Speaking of the Oilers, I was wondering if... Speaking of totally bombing, the Oilers. I just wonder if the Oilers... Hold on, I'll get to Calgary later. I just wonder if the Oilers in the locker room have one of those days since an accident, just since that day since we fired our last coach. 2. All right, sweet. Sorry, I just thought of... Actually, I'd like to talk about some very good people to me as hospital staff. If you give a round of applause for nurses. All the nurses here. Is anybody here that's a nurse? Anybody here a nurse? No, they're too busy getting underpaid and overworked. Oh, I'm sorry. Was I defending nurses too hard? No, they're angels, man. And I had some funny-ass nurses. I had one nurse that her name's Heather. She used to take your temperature with one of those laser thermometers, but she would come up to my head and be like, your wallet and keys now! She was fucking hilarious. And I also had to piss in the urinal, sorry to be graphic, but I couldn't go to the bathroom by myself, and I used to have to pee in a thing called the urinal, which is just a piss jug, right? And then Heather would come in and she'd be like, oh, you making me some more Chardonnay? I was like, yeah, it's too light to be apple juice. Yes, it's a fine 36-year-old vintage with tiny notes of weed and cigarettes. And a little asparagus. I love doing comedy shows and then people don't show up and they're like, oh, I didn't know you were doing a comedy show, I would have come. It's not like we're doing these shows in secret. These are comedy shows, they're not fight clubs, you know? The first rule of Comedy Fight Club is you do not talk about Comedy Fight Club. The second rule of Comedy Fight Club is Brandon is no longer in Comedy Fight Club. It's fired. It's so nice to be at Lumberjacks not hungover. I'm getting paid in a breakfast bowl later. Me too. Oh, what's up? We got a camera guy here. Oh no, wait, get my good side. I'm also paralyzed on my left side of my body. I suffered a stroke after having brain surgery, so I can do this. My one dance move right now with my wife is called the lawnmower. Or the chainsaw. That's all I got. It's really all he's got, to be honest. He's doing the chainsaw too much. It's all it is. That's all I got. And I also have my beautiful wife, Jamie, here. I also got married after the pandemic. She married a lemon apparently. But she's been very supportive of me as well, and I love her. There's a lot of things I learned through marriage. Like before I was a bachelor, right? And then I got married. Like before when I was a bachelor, I used to sleep on a mattress on the floor. And then when I met Jamie, she introduced me to this thing called a box spring. It's just enough height so that rats don't jump onto your bed. And then before I met my wife, I used to be a bachelor, I used to buy a thing called 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner. And then when I met her, she introduced me to 1-in-1. It's called shampoo and conditioner. Buddies, you don't have to buy it in 2-in-1. All right, before I get out of here, I gotta do one of my favorite jokes. I'll need a mic stand. It has a pantomime with the right hand, so unless I drop the mic. So before I met Jamie as well, I used to go to clubbing, as most guys do, and I always get drunk there. And this one time I got a little too drunk, and I saw this girl that I wanted to talk to. It wasn't you, sir, I hope. It wasn't you. Anyways, I talked to her, and I decided I'm going to go up and I'm going to talk to this girl. So I did, and I asked her for her phone number, and she did this to me, and I didn't even clue, and I was on 5 shots of tequila. I'm like, pulled out my phone. Okay, 5. She did it again. She's trying to show me the ring on her finger. I still didn't clue in, right? I'm like, okay, 5. Next one better not be 5 because I'm calling bullshit on that one. Okay, 1. Oh, that's not a 1. Anyways, thank you guys very much.